gang until if there's nothing available for them to do, then they'll farm, apply pressure.
Right.
When the Shen ult was up and they had the war at the bottom bush, that's when the gank went off. They had the 5-man bot versus a 3, which is why they won that fight.
And here we go, Pink Ward going down. Since we have Pink Ward for Team LCS here, they know that there's no other wards. However, a ward did go down. Zach's jumping in, Shen ult coming in. Shen ult's going to go for the taunt. The Sona ult goes down, but J4 trying to peel off on Tristana. Karthus ult actually helping. Unfortunately, J4 going down pretty hard. Tristana flanking from around, trying to get in a good position, blocking off all the exits, and Zach is launching in again on Jace. Jace gets knocked back, or Jace is knocking back Zach. And actually, I think Ferris will live with that, but unfortunately, that was a 3-for-none death, and they didn't even manage to get Dragon as well. Great play by Team Gegyu. I guess we spoke too soon about aggression play, hey? So here we go. We can be still surprised from time to time. But sorry, Dan, you were saying.
Oh yeah, so right there, the Dragon was off. There was opportunity or a reason to fight or gank. They knew that they would be on the Dragon or they would have to contest, so they forced that fight there. You can see that they always prep before a Dragon, always have it warded, and the ganks go off, make sure all
Yeah, and Sona actually getting pulled a bit, Karthus wall, trying to catch Fizz off guard, but he just kind of jumps away. He's not even phased by it. That's the cool thing about Fizz. He's just flipping and just doing cartwheels all over the place. It's a really fun hero to play. But I haven't yet been able to see his ultimate. So fans at home, if you don't normally play Fizz, you're going to be in for a surprise if you like seeing marine animals, I guess. But anyways, here we go. Now, just to negate that gold disadvantage, we see here Team LCS pushing very heavily hard bottom lane. If they can actually bring this down, we do see about 4 players coming around to bomb time. I think Team LCS will be able to get it, and now they're rushing back. Sona's mobility skills is just to make her team run away faster. So they do get it, unharmed, pretty safe. It's a great play, though. When you're down Lost Dragon, the other team is back at lane. Try and push as hard as possible, just to negate that hard push. So Dan, now that we have a lot of items here, can you just go over, pretty much everything that our two teams have?
So seems like Varus went for the Bloodthirster early, despite being down on gold as the champ, compared to Triss where he's going for the IE, the Infinity Edge, which will benefit him in a team fight much more, whereas Varus is just sustaining. Looks here, Zach has his Ancient Golem item already, and Fizz has completed his Lich Bane, which is going to be huge for fights. It adds a ton of damage, tons of damage.
Yeah, 80 ability power, 5% movement speed, and his next attack after doing a skill, well, oh, and his little crabby shark misses. Oh, it's actually a giant manatee. I guess they changed it with that skin. That's pretty awesome. I actually haven't seen that skin, but then again, I don't see a lot of Fizzes being played. But I'm really glad there's a Fizz here. So a knockback going off on Shen. Shen taunting back in, trying to trade with Jace, and successfully doing so, although Jace is chasing heavily after Shen. Smashing down, shielded, but it looks like Jace actually won that trade pretty evenly, I'd say. Now we see probably Fizz going to be either roaming top. What they really want to do now is start pushing towers. They're strong enough, I think, to team fight. We're at a 7-2 score, 17 minutes into the game. We're now heading into middle game, where a lot of these players do shine. Varus does have his farm up, so they will be able to team fight effectively. But even so, that 5-0 kill score on Fizz is not something to laugh about. It's pretty insane what Fizz can do if he's snowballed, and it seems like he has. So. Going late game, though, we do see Tristana having an Infinity Edge. Now, Tristana is one of the best late game heroes as far as AD carries go. How do you think she's going to line up, or how do you think Varus is going to line up with that? Will he be able to carry his team? What do they effectively have to do?
So for Varus, he has to land a very nice ult, that's for sure. So we need a combination of Jarvan ult into a Varus ult into a Sona ult to lock them down. That would be crucial for LCS. Whereas for GGU, it's just the standard catch and tank for the AD. Tristana will have like a much greater attack range advantage, whereas Varus is not as far, not of a range.
Well, and just taking the rest of the golems away, and that's the coolest thing about Thresh is that with his little lantern, he can jump in with Sax and then just click on the lantern and come back out safely. Really able to do some really cool tricks there as far as map dominance with jungle advantage, I guess you could say. Okay, so now looks like teams are both setting up with buffs, trying to get as much CS as possible, clearing out their jungles. I have this feeling in my stomach that we're going to see something pretty big coming up soon, as this is what teams usually do as far as prepping for fights go. They're getting a little bit more gold, getting a little bit more items. Kind of pushing or split pushing, we'll sooner or later see a team fight. Just because, I mean, come on. How could you not team fight with a red buff Tristana, right? With an Infinity Edge. So here we go. Ping's going off down here in the mid. We do see Fizz doing some roaming. He's feeling pretty confident, probably picking up some farm in the bottom by himself. But yeah. Not sure where... I think we're having some pings in the middle. Trying to clear some wards, perhaps. Pings are going down for ward coverage. Just because whenever you start pushing, guys, ward coverage has to go down as far as defensive warding. A lot of people do offensive warding. Not a lot of people remember to defensive ward as you're pushing. You never want to get flanked from the two sides of the river. As you can see, both sides of the bush have... Oh, and the ultimate goes off. Jays, everyone initiating on Tristana. Tristana able to jump away. Shen ult happening. Karth is getting trapped. Flash having to go off. And a shard going off. But here we go. One for... Oh, Karth is off. Not gonna do too much damage, but wow, that was pretty crazy. A lot of summoners, a lot of summoners being used. Just everybody kind of going on Tristana. Hard part about Tristana, she can easily escape if anyone does initiate on her, unfortunately. And on top of that, with the Shen ult and just two tanky people kind of peeling for her, it's going to be very difficult to take away their main damage to her, I'd say. You know, LCS is probably going to have to do some very clever flanking or strategy abilities to be able to dive. Or, better not, they may just have to ignore it completely. As the further you try to initiate on Tristana, the more damage you're taking from the other team. So, Dan, do you want to weigh in on this? You know, like, what are your thoughts? Or have I just said everything?
I felt like that fight in middle could have been better for LCS for sure. Varus still had his ult up, and Jarvan as well. So I feel like if they committed more, they would have bursted Tristana much faster, and that's preventing the Shen ult from coming down.
So you think it was a bit of a miscommunication on their part as to who to initiate or if to fully commit onto Tristana, right?
Yeah, there's definitely a bit of hesitation, I believe.
Lots of pings going down, heavily going after Jarvan. Fizz actually probably pulling his... Oh, and a flash and a shard going off. Oh, but he's all alone. His team can't really catch up to him. Fizz is dangerously by his own, but his burst damage is so high, getting away easily. Karth he's just dodging as many... Oh, but Karth ends up shutting down Fizz. Able to kind of kite around for a bit. But I mean, 2 for 1, they'll take that, no problem. The only problem with that is Tristana is pushing mid by herself. The split push is happening. Shen is taking enough with Thresh to probably hold off this tower. We'll have to see. Varus, as their AD carry, is able to put out a lot of damage, but Tristana, same thing happening on. She is pushing heavily. The ping is going off though. She knows she's probably stayed too long, safely making her way out. She's already got her tower. They did their job. And Team Get Good You is able to pretty much save their tower. So I would actually put this this whole fighting situation as advantage for Team Get Good You.
Yeah, that's for sure. With the middle inner turret down, they're free to pressure and start the Baron now, without the turret giving them vision on the map.
Oh, and I don't know if Thresh actually saw the ward in the back of the Baron. He kind of stepped in a little, but I don't know if he's aware of that one. He just had his oracles, but yeah. Or maybe they're leaving that in for bait. Who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah. Perhaps it's just that he doesn't want to get caught off guard. I've seen that happen. Someone gets ward baited into, and since they don't have any offensive wards, or I should say defensive pushing wards, where the red buff is on the side of purple side, he probably just didn't want to. He probably didn't want to risk it. So here we are, both supports now getting oracles. It is mid game, 25 minutes into the game. It's a pretty good time to actually now start buying oracles, just because a lot of wards are going to go down. Objectives become a lot more important, especially that Baron buff, as both teams are strong enough to probably take it down within a couple of seconds or so. But here we go. It's looking pretty slim though. Team Get Good You has 38.6k versus 30.8k. So we do have a 10-3 score ratio here. But yeah, Dan, what do you think of the items now? You know, we do see, I think the Manamune upgraded. Miramani? I keep messing that name up. I'm pretty terrible at that. But Karthus hasn't upgraded that with his Rod of Ages. A little bit more sustainability in team fights as far as being able to take a little bit more damage. But yeah, like how are they supposed to come back from this?
I think it's going to be pretty tough for LCS to come back. GG is pretty huge right now. Shen's got his Warmogs and Sunfire. Fizz has his Zanyas and his Lichbane, so he's free to initiate and just Zanyas after.
Right.
And have Shen and Zach come in and just surround him. And that way, Fizz is pretty safe, even though he goes in a high-risk situation with the Zanyas.
Now, do you think what do you think of the Rod of Ages and Miramana build? Like, because normally sometimes I see a lot of Karthuses actually getting Zonyas as well. Just because, you know, once you see a Karthus doing a lot of damage, everybody tries to converge on Karthus, tries to take him out as fast as possible. Why do you think the option was to go tier Miramane or whatnot? Or sorry, the goddess, it's like tier goddess staff or something.
Yeah,
I've been calling it
Embrace.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, what's just more burst potential, or as far as
I don't agree with the build. Not too sure. I don't think he'd run out of mana. Doesn't give cooldown. Maybe he just got the item for the tank to tank in a situation where he got caught. I think
being able to use his shield
yes.
from the item's built-in shield active ability. Yeah, no, that could be the reason why. But now he's still farming. Tails is doing very, very well as AD carry. 209 CS. Varus is still not caught up yet. He's got a 183 CS, but here we go. Shark don't miss. Fizz actually doing huge amounts of burst damage, just catching so easily. And Zach, the map awareness is crazy. He's using his ultimate, bouncing around. Sona ultimate going off, but not stopping Zach whatsoever. Shen ult going down on Tails, trying to save. Flash goes off. Flash comes after Karthus, but Zach still staying on Varus, peeling away for his carry. Shen in a little trouble here, trying to do some juking, but unsuccessfully. Jace is managing to take away Shen. However, his team didn't fare so well. It is now a 2-for-3, but I would say that came out again for Team GG, unfortunately.
Yeah, GG is definitely extending their lead in the game. Fizz still hasn't died in that fight. It was just a catch with another catch. They're just snowballing the fight. It was unfortunate Shen died at bottom, but he did manage to get the ult for the shield on the Tristana.
Right. Yeah, in case people were like, what? Why didn't the ninja totally come on in on the AD carry? Jace did. Probably people don't know this, but you know, once you knock Shen out of his channeling ability. He's not able to channel into the fight and onto Tristan anymore. So Jay's doing a really good job of keeping Shen out of that fight. Otherwise, it could have turned out way worse for Team LCS. And yeah, Shen ended up dying too. So potentially Shen could have ulted in maybe a more safer place, but I don't think he really had a choice as far as him split pushing goes. So now here we go. J4 just trying to pick up some safe buffs. Jay's following a team. Now we're starting to see a lot more grouping. As you can see on the map, we did see a lot of split pushing. You still do see a lot of split pushing as far as Team Get Good You goes. Shen, because of, like we mentioned, that global ultimate, he can split push. You do see a lot of Shens playing that way just because you're able to push a lane, jump back into a fight, and continue pushing with your team in another lane. So it's going to be up to LCS having a lot more mobility as far as map coverage goes, as they haven't been able to take any dragons. Actually, that's three dragons. 3 dragons it is for Team Get You, just dominating map presence. But yeah, it's probably just got to be that map coverage with wards, map awareness, and just being able to traverse across the map so easily. So here we go. Jay's getting pretty far up as far as CS goes. The highest on his team with 214 CS. Tristana being 224, 224. But as far as the next couple of CS goes, leading the CS, Team Geganyud has close to 3 people, 2 other people with 200 CS, and yeah, Team Geganyud has close to 200 CS on 3 people, whereas LCS only has about 2. So we'll see how items kind of factor into here, the farm. As I think Karthus does need a lot of farm, right? Okay, Dan, so what are your thoughts now? Tell me what you're thinking about here.
I feel GGU just needs to make that Baron play now. They can clear the wards, pressure mid lane. They have all the bottom turrets down except their inhibitor. They might group top, take that last inner turret, and then try for Baron. But right now they just need to keep their advantage and just snowball and control the map.
Yeah, so now picking up blue buff here. Baron fight actually happening right now. There is a ward down. There's no oracles. I don't even think they have a pink ward. This is actually really dangerous. All right, here we go. 2 wards going down again. Oracles on Soda. Oh, and the Baron steal by Team LCS. Oh, they're actually still getting converged on. Hell is all breaking loose. Varus actually getting caught with an ignite. Zach just checking in to try and jump over just to make sure. But well done by Jarvan. Like I said, no pink ward, no oracles. Kind of really scary to start a Baron fight. You usually don't typically see that. So perhaps a little bit of mistake on Team GG part, but hey, 5 are still up. Shen taunt going down as well. Wall going from Karthus, but they can't stop that. That huge burst potential from Team GGU. The farm, the CS, the items, they are just dominating. 16-4, 10k up right now. Even with that Baron steal, Team LCS still is kind of on the back end. You know, they have the heals, their backs to the wall. It's looking pretty slim. It's looking very slim, Dan.
Yeah, for sure. For the Baron fight, the reason the GGU started it is because they had seen Karthus pass by their ward near their blue buff, and for the amount of time that Karthus had to travel across the map to get to Baron, it would have given them a huge opportunity to, let's say, catch someone if they were trying to contest. And that's what they did. Although they lost Baron, that was unfortunate. They came out on top with an inhibitor turret, and a bunch of kills.
Definitely, and it was a good re-engagement, or counter-engagement, I should say, on Team GGU's part, even with the Baron steal. Unfortunately, there was a fail flash on Jarvan, so he wasn't able to get out over the wall, kind of face-planted, unfortunately. But hey, he's still the hero of the day for stealing the Baron buff. So, but you're right. And now, I still think Team GGU is strong enough, even with LCS's Baron buff. They could probably still engage in a 5v5 fight and come out on top, I would say, just because the sheer amount of, yeah, and it looks like here they are going to re-engage, even with the Baron buff. They don't really care. Wall going off. Karthus going into the middle of the foray here. Fizz being caught by Jarvan, getting tons of damage, but he's throwing a shard down. I think he already did, but wow. 3 of Team GGU. Now they're on the back end, running backs to the wall. Ultimate going off, but a nice Zhonya's from Fizz, but a Zac burst damage. The threshold goes down. Shen is actually being beaten down. All that Varus is. Oh my gosh, I can't even speak right now. Sona's still being able to poke. Jay's coming out to try and flank, but a safe little dive back home for Shen. He stays safe, but oh man, that was a close call for Fizz. Nice little perfectly timed Zhonya's, dodging that Karthus assault, even with all his abilities down. So yeah, he's probably counting his lucky stars that he totally bought that item, but but no, it looks like I was wrong. Baron buff on just 3 players, but no, Team GGU, even with their dominating 17-6 lead, weren't able to really come out on top of that. It's very interesting. I'm not sure if, like, tell me what happened there. Was it just better positioning on...
Yeah, that was definitely better positioning on LCS's side. They had Fizz stuck in Jarvan's Cataclysm, so he was unable to dive. And if he were to dive, it would be risky because his teammates weren't as close to him as he would like them to be. So the time for the rest of his teammates to react and help him it was going to be long.
Jarvan doing his job, keeping Fizz out of the fight, keeping Fizz's AoE burst potential out of that fight, just heavily reducing the damage and output that Fizz could do. So pretty much shutting down one of their carries. So good job on LCS for recognizing that, and Jarvan doing and playing his role as tank and peeler. So here we go. Now, definitely they're split pushing once again. Shen probably recognizing that 3 are top. 4 bottom forcing bottom lane, as they do see three of LCS team members on the bottom. But I'm not sure if they're going to be able to push heavily, as LCS has recognized the movement of Team GG and is definitely kind of reformating. Doing reformation here. Yeah, and it looks like Team GG will back off, control the jungle, steal the buffs, and try once again. They're probably going to wait on Shen just to appear on the top. This is going to make it a lot more trickier for LCS to react. You know, who are we going to send top against Shen? Looks like they're going to send their AD carry. GGU recognizes this, but not sure if they can push back at all. But it looks like AD carry is going up top for GGU, taking out some golems as well, taking away the farm. Going in, Tristana jumps in, launches Barry going off, taunt on Shen, going on to Varus, but that huge burst going down. Not much that they can do. Whoa, Jarvan ult capturing all 3 players now. Thresh, knockback, and a flash coming out on Jarvan. Jarvan now has to be very, very careful, but LCS is definitely on the run here now. Zac just trying to go back on Jarvan. Jarvan flagging out, safely not dying. But now, oh my gosh. Oh, and a flash goes in. Zac going in. It's trying to go in. Tristana coming back from the top, flanking around, going off on Karthus, just trying to kite as well as possible and definitely being able to do so. Juking and jiving under all those. Oh! Thresh goes down. Does a little does a little hook for show just because he's going down. But hey, definitely that team fight came out on top for Team GGU. Varus coming back, but it doesn't look like he's going to be able to stop this heavy push. There is only 2 members up on LCS, and Zach and Tristana can push very, very heavily. You know, we see those 700 damage crits going off, and yeah, it looks like it's GG. Is it safe to call GG then? Or?
Yeah, looks like it's pretty GG right now. We got 2 inhibitors down. Baron just came up.
Baron's back up. I don't know if LCS will be able to try to go for an all-out strategy of grabbing Baron buff and then pushing heavily. Like you said, 2 inhibs are down. 2 inhibitors are down. They might not be able to stop GGU from doing Baron buff if they so choose. But we'll see. There's no map. There's no wards from both sides. There's no wards at Baron from both sides of the teams, and so yeah, we're just gonna actually see here. Oops. Oh, and the minions were able to take down the Nexus. So I guess we didn't. Yeah, they tried to do an all-out. But yeah, there you have it. Game 1 of Team Get You versus LCS Unitas. Team Get You just dominated.